Hey guys, Pecha here, coming with a full detailed guide on making donuts. I'll show you how to get the maximum sparkling and alpha power later in the video, but for now, let's start with the basics. Each berry has points in either the spicy, sweet, sour, bitter, or fresh, which all contribute to the flavor score. They have their very own effects as well. So for the spicy one, it increases speed, attack, and special attack. It's very useful for the later rogue mega battles. And if you ever hit a Pokemon with a super effective move, and there was just no damage at all, then this donut should be able to help more. While on the other side, if you've noticed that you've just been getting one shot, then the bitter donut actually raises the defense, and you'll be able to survive battles a little bit longer. Special defense could also be boosted. If you want to farm berries or items in general, the sour berry donut boosts items drops from Pokeballs. It will also boost a particular type. Sometimes it won't be berries, it could also just be like Gimmighoul coins or just finding more of the sparkling things on the ground. And it also does affect the Mega Charge and the duration. What that means is that when you Mega Evolve your Pokemon, usually there's a timer. If you have the sour donuts and it says that Mega Charge or duration is affected, then it should last longer. The encounter and the capture rates are boosted from the fresh donut. It makes catching a specific type easier. It also affects the number of spawns. So it's good for those that are horde shiny hunting. Like if you want to find Pokemon that are in groups, usually if there's not lots, then the fresh donut will just help with that. And finally, the sweet berries are the most important for shinies and alpha encounters. Sometimes the Pokemon can become a tiny size too, not just big, as the sweet berry could affect size in general. An important thing to note is that the donut powers are actually based on RNG. So it's not really guaranteed that they will boost it as soon as you use the berries, which means that even if you directly copy someone's recipe, sometimes you may not get the exact same boost that they have, but it will be similar because they all have the same flavors. So once you get more than 6 berry slots is when you could start getting 3 times the powers, which is later in the game, and the more berries you use, the more better the flavor score will turn out. But creating a donut does autosave. You could get your berries again by using the backup save. All you have to do is just move the up button on the left side of the Nintendo Switch, and you press the X button and the B button at the same time on the title screen, and eventually it will show up. To farm more berries, the higher star portals are better rather than like those 1-star ones, and if you complete all tasks, there will be a golden Pokeball at the end, which give hyper berries. And I always like making my flying type Pokemon hit these Pokeballs, even if it's not golden. Some of the big ones or the small ones could also drop hyper berries. The regular walking Pokemon sometimes can't reach the ones in the air, which many of the times they could be in the sky floating. So you could save time by making the flying type Pokemon fly up. And here are some recipes that I will share for the Sparkling Power Level 3. This person used 8 berry slots, which obviously in the beginning we only start with like 3 to 4 berry slots. So they were probably later in the game. They used 5 Hyper Oka berries. This had level 3 sparkling power for all the types, and also the Humongo power, which it's not really alpha, but it still makes the Pokemon big. And if they were to run into a normal type Pokemon, they could potentially get a better chance for getting a shiny normal type, since there is also a catching power for that. And since this person does have 2000 calories, they could last longer in the hyperspace, which is very good for if you want to shiny hunt and stay longer in the battlefield. Another person also used 3 Hyper Haben berries and the 5 Hyper Tanga berries, which as we could see right here, it's once again 8 berries, but this time they have level 3 alpha power, which is much better than just a Humongo power level 1. The donut usually looks like this. I remember a lot of people made the recipes for shiny Pokemon, and usually it's like the pink donut with a macaron on top of it. And we could see from the profile bar that the sweet thing is at 730 at the value. But if you don't have enough of the other berries, like the fancy ones, the Tanga berries, sometimes if you have just the duplicates of Oka berries, you could actually just fill up the entire slot with just 7 of these and just put a random one at the end. But this will lead to Sparkling Power Level 2 for ground type, and also the Teensy Power Level 2. That just means that the Pokemon are gonna be smaller rather than, just being alpha. It's good that you don't have to use these donuts right away. You could just save it for in the future if a ground type hyperspace opens up. You could just throw that donut in there and it would just tailor to that specific type. And also we have the Bountiful Shuka Jam Donut. This one is more for collecting berries, This is a recipe for farming, like if you want to farm more and more berries. It's actually kind of smart to use hyper berries to farm even more hyper berries. We got level 3 item power, because this person used the sour one, as we see in the yellow donut and the flavor bar. They have item collections. It's not only for the berries, but they also get a lot of items from the ground, like the sparkling things. It says that it actually makes you a lot more likely to find berries. It's not just a chance, but it's probably guaranteed that you're gonna find way more berries. And the names for these would be the 2 hyper Kasib berries and the 5 hyper Shuka berries. You know those ball guy people that are dressed in blue? Sometimes they give hyper berries for free, because there is a zone not just for Pokemon but for trainers as well. And if you battle trainers, they could give you hyperspace berries. I actually want to go through a whole list. If you want to farm more berries, the berry that we want is for the sour flavor. I'm on this chart that separates every single berry throughout their values and the calories. So we're just gonna look for the sour ones right now. It will be this 3rd column. So as we could see, these are all the regular berries that you all probably have, since you could just pick them up anywhere in the main game, not just in the DLC. We could see that Aspire berry has a value of 10, and that is very good overall compared to just 0. So Aspire berry, be on the look. You could use those, and also like combine it with Persim berries, citrus, and these are also really good too. Kelpsie berry, Qualot berry, the honeydew berry. These ones you could buy at like the berry stalls, which I'll show a picture right now on where to get them. Even the Paso berry has 10, but you could also even put a Rindo berry, which is 15 sour points, the Rindo and the Koba berry. And if you don't see the boosts happen right away, like the item encounter boosts, you could just continue to use this later in the game, as eventually you'll unlock more slots. And the more slots you unlock, the powers are going to be more powerful. It's multiplied, like there's a boost. And if you want to just start early, maybe getting some sweet stuff, you don't really have any sweet hyper berries so far. Pecha berry is a good starter, or even the Palmec berry has 30 values. By the way, I do remember that there was a rainbow donut. It's mainly a random thing, as we could see. It's like a mix of all the different colors. The effects are not guaranteed for any of the boosts, like the defense or even the attack. There's also a Gulpin that eventually you'll see throughout the missions. It will actually stay forever in the Hotel Z room as a side mission, and once you do the side mission, it will just eat any donut that you make, and in exchange they would usually give berries. So maybe experiment with that out. I haven't tried much of that yet. You could just make like duplicate donuts and then hand all of them over to the Gulpin. It will eat any amount. This is a spoiler alert. These are the berries that you should save for the future donuts that will be for Darkrai, Rayquaza, and Groudon. I didn't get Kyogre yet, but these are the donut berries that usually are cooked. So the Darkrai donut, we could see that it has pitch black power, and it has a mix of all those hyper berries. And it's interesting that it says mega power charging. That will probably mean that when we Mega Evolve during battle, we would have an advantage, as it is also level 2. And then this is for Rayquaza. As we could see, it really requires a lot of level boosts, like level 106, since Rayquaza is going to be very overpowered. It's literally the most powerful legendary overall. For the Groudon recipe, I'm surprised that there wasn't really much of the bitter flavor. Usually bitter, we want to have a lot of defense, but there's only 50 and that's the lowest one. So that would kind of make the Groudon battle a little bit more challenging. But I mean, we still got the level boost, so that makes it way more better. Something to note is that I saw someone actually get a level 3 boost. So that means that you don't always have to put every single slot being hyper berries. You could even have just two of the slots being regular berries. It will still have good effects. So it really just depends on the RNG. So that wraps up the full berry guides and the donut recipes. Like this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Peace.